Hey, y'all, welcome back to Andrea Speaks TV. I'm your host, Andrea, back to bring you news and commentary you can use. Listen, y'all, I want to ask you a question. Can we even trust the soil that our food is growing in? After this story, y'all, I don't know. Listen, y'all, according to a news article, toxic, and I quote, forever chemicals have been found in U.S. farmland soil. Okay, I just was talking about um, with the train derailments that have been happening, how, these chemicals, these hazardous chemicals are potentially getting into our water system, into the air, the atmosphere, as well as the soil. Well, lo and behold, I came upon this story involving toxic chemicals in U.S. farmland soil. Listen to this, y'all, okay? A man and his wife, okay, they bought Songbird Farm in Maine back in 2014 with the hopes of raising organic produce and a family, okay? However, y'all, 7 years later, they learned that their land was riddled with chemicals called PFAS. That's all capital letters, PFAS, which is a family of thousands of toxic compounds known as, and I quote, forever chemicals because of how long they last in the environment, okay? PFAS, or per and polyfluoroalkyl substances, okay? You're going to have to look that up, y'all. PFAS, okay? Have been used for decades since their introduction in the mid-1900s. They were integral components of the Teflon used in nonstick cookware, waterproof fabrics, and even cosmetics, okay? Listen to this, y'all. Exposure to PFAS has been linked to numerous health issues such as kidney and testicular cancer, liver damage, and high cholesterol, according to the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, okay? The toxins at Songbird Farm were traced to sludge, the solids left after wastewater is treated, that was spread as fertilizer in the 1990s. I'm going to read that again, y'all, to make sure you understand it, okay? The toxins at the Songbird Farm, okay, where the husband and wife, they purchased this farm, were traced to sludge. Sludge being the solids left after wastewater is treated, that was spread as fertilizer in the 1990s. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? Here's a quote that said it contained a whole host of industrial chemicals. This is in the farmland soil, y'all. He said tests found that their water and some crops had dangerously high levels of PFAS. His family was also exposed, and the levels in their blood was 250 times higher than average, he said, okay? Here's a quote that says, living with the exposure is terrifying, and I feel like I have a poorly wired time bomb inside of me, okay? He has turned from working his farm to working for an environmental advocacy group called Defend Our Health that's pushing for new laws to help other farmers with dreams spoiled by forever chemicals, okay? A recent study, the article says, estimated that sludge, like what was applied at Songbird Farm, has also been spread on 5% of all farmland in the United States. Think about that, y'all. But not all sludge contains toxic chemicals. Again, y'all, sludge is defined as the solids left after wastewater is treated. And it says was sprayed as fertilizer in the 1990s, okay? The Food and Drug Administration had this to say. They told CBS News in an email that the U.S. food supply is, and I quote, among the safest in the world, adding that it regularly tests food products and that very few have detectable levels of PFAS, okay? Those that do have them have low levels, the FDA said, okay? Did you all know this? I'm learning something new myself, right? One member of the Harvard Department of Earth and Planetary Sciences had this to say, who studies PFAS pollution. She said the government's approach toward PFAS is, and I quote, ambitious yet fragmented, okay? The quote continues by saying, if we're really concerned about PFAS and our everyday exposure, we should be proactive and we should be banning those chemicals from non-essential uses, she said, okay? Very concerning, y'all. So again, you mean to tell me that in the U.S. farmland, this PFAS is popping up? Is this something that they knew about and they just didn't tell us, or is this something new? You all let me know your thoughts. I'm telling y'all, you know, if you're not able to grow your own food, many people rely on going to the grocery store, getting food from different parts of the country, right? Well, you may say, well, Andrea, this isn't, again, you're talking about a farmland that is in what state? Maine. But listen, y'all, we know that food is grown in different parts of the country, different parts of the world, right? It may be grown somewhere in another part of the country in the world, but then it's shipped to your local farmer's market or your local grocery store. So again, y'all, like I said, like I've been saying, we need to know where our food is coming from. Can we even trust the soil in which our food grows now? I don't know, y'all. Let me know your thoughts. As always, thank you all so much for tuning in to another episode of Andrea Speaks TV. I'll be curious to know your thoughts on this story, okay? Y'all take care. Talk to you soon.